This is a photo of myself and Michael Jackson, as you can well see. I mean, there are very few people in the planet who don't know who Michael Jackson is. Nobody knows who I am, but they know who Michael Jackson is. And I met Michael in a very nice way. I had been doing a lot of work with the UN. I had Elton John had spoken and wanted to become an ambassador of goodwill for the UN. I had the star of The Lion King, who was the youngest ambassador of goodwill for the UN. And I felt that maybe Michael Jackson would be a good ambassador of goodwill for the UN, because the UN needed famous people to appeal to the youth of the world to do something of value besides just breathe. I went to a party given by Denise Rich. She deliberately asked me to come. Denise Rich is quite a remarkable woman. She's a songwriter. She's a great philanthropist. She's a party giver. And she was a dear and close friend of mine for many, many years. So as a matter of fact, in 2012, she had a remarkable apartment above David Geffen on Fifth Avenue in 60th Street. She had an ice skating ring on one of the balconies. And she gave wonderful parties with all kinds of people that I met at the party, because we were very good friends at the time. I think that we may have drifted apart a bit now, because we don't see each other. But she was great, and she turned to me and she says, Michael is coming to my party. Do you think you can help him become an ambassador of goodwill of the United Nations? He would love it. I said, well, if he's willing to cooperate and to help the UN, I'm sure I might be able to do something. And if UN had a division called UNAIDS, whereupon I was able to sit down with Michael. This is the time the two of us met, the first meeting, well, after meeting him at Denise Rich's home, he came to visit me at the UN. And we sat and we spoke. He was a beautiful man at the time. He prayed with me. We spoke. I said, do you want to? Would you do this work for the UN? He says, what do you want me to do? I want you to be an ambassador of goodwill, and I want you to do some fundraisers in South Africa and elsewhere to raise money for people who have AIDS. He says he would be delighted to do that. Well, everything was all set, and there was a big dinner party with the head of the UN and the people from UNAIDS and a lot of other people, and somehow something happened. I will not discuss it now, but suddenly Michael did not show up. And that's a story in itself. And I think it was a great loss, because Michael wanted it to him, and it was a great loss to the United Nations and to millions of very, very sick people throughout the world.